World War II, Canada was home to thousands of these young Commonwealth airmen who won their wings at training bases like this one near Winnipeg. Now, more than 40 years later, a bigger and bolder Winnipeg is playing host to a reunion of the surviving air crews from around the world. So it was that more than 3,000 of those survivors and their wives met in Winnipeg last September. The fifth such reunion of the Wartime Pilots and Observers Association since the war. A unique event for an aging yet ageless group of men.
Looks like you won the war.
We did win the war. I think we did.
Like last time. Oh, yeah. Oh, you're gutting. I did.
These men are a band of brothers who served in all the Air Force squadrons during the war.
So I joined the Air Force.
Pilot Andy McKenzie.
Being a fighter pilot is my life. It's like doctors going to conventions. So we go to old fighter pilots conventions and see all our old buddies, and you know, the boys are dropping off. So the more we see of one another, the better we like it. I remember the day we were shot down.
He had 13 broken ribs, and oh, he was just a mess.
50 years ago, these men were just boys, in their late teens and early 20s. Some even too young to vote.
I was young, too. I was 22 years old and very motivated to defend. We used to say we're thrashing the Hun on the Western Wall.
Our young pilots also took a thrashing. Some 45,000 who took their training in Canada died in action.
This is one of his wireless operators, and they all looked at me and said, "You're dead." Because they'd heard the whole crew had died.
A close brush with death in war is not easily forgotten, especially for the survivors at this reunion. Some men are more fortunate than others. They're able to find old squadron mates. Still others keep looking for a familiar face. And with the passage of time, the exploits of war become grander. Winnipeg author Murray Peden.
You tend to get a little maudlin, it's true, but sometimes I guess it's understandable. People have saved your life, and you don't forget those things.
There's more to reunions than singing familiar songs and sharing stories. It's also a time for getting autographs and taking pictures of the old gang, for buying a new tie or a Lancaster lapel pin, or browsing through books and admiring the paintings. And it seemed the biggest sellers were the reunion ball caps. Wartime memorabilia has become a growth industry in recent years, supported by men who want to remember. And what's a reunion of old aircrew without the traditional stag luncheon? Well, the mess tables are fueled with draft, and the head table guests wax eloquently.
Lovely to see you. We'll catch up with you.
These VIPs represent the Commonwealth countries which took part in the wartime training plan. For those who won their wings in Western Canada, the years and the people are fondly remembered.
They were marvelous to us then, and bless them, they're marvelous to us now when we come back in our middle age. All the stories of our exploits in our youth, gaining with mortality. I'm gonna take a sentimental journey, sentimental journey home.
The few hours the airmen had away from their planes was special to them, and Glenn Miller's music helped to ease the tension. Years later, the same music is a sentimental journey for the flying aces who are still charming their dates on the dance floor. Getting 5,000 people together every 4 years is a sizable challenge, especially when they're coming from 16 different countries.
More people would be retired.
Hal Wishart has been piloting the reunions for years.
We fed 4,600 people here tonight, so attrition wasn't too heavy.
Although there have been 5 reunions, this is the first for George Davies.
I've missed 4 reunions, and I wish I hadn't. I wish I'd been at every one of them.
The morning after, these men haven't lost their stamina. It's on to the buses and off to the old airfield at Portage-la-Prairie.
So even if he's underwater, he can't get away from us.
Oh, that's good.
This is no sentimental journey for these vets. It's an eye-opening air show, one that brings them face to face with modern air power.
You know one from the other? I don't.
Now you've got so many modifications for so many different purposes in the air. There was only 2 purposes when we were flying, and that was either bombing or fighting. That was it.
Yep.
Except for a few museum pieces, the famous planes of World War II have all disappeared, replaced by multi-million-dollar jet fighters like this Canadian CF-18 Hornet. And because it's peacetime, today's top guns zoom and boom to the delight of the crowds. Aircrew are united by a special bond that is forged in war, a bond that endures for a lifetime, a bond reinforced by these men during this parade and memorial service at the end of their reunion in Winnipeg.
She's in from Calgary to see her son in the parade.
We are here to remember and commend to God the Father our friends and comrades who died that we and our children might live.